Okay, there's some physical activity involved, and the tests that you'll have to go through, all those kind of things. So
It's not a 4.25 anymore, then. Okay.
but there will be a there will be a test. Yeah. So, all right, we're right after we've gotten 9 practices under our belt right now, and I would have to say I'm pleased with where our football team is at this point. I didn't say satisfied. I said pleased with where we're at this point. I think we've done some good things. There's been our team is still trying to establish the identity of each unit, and that will continue as we get into through fall camp. And hopefully early in the season. So, but it's been really good. I think our guys have come in with a great attitude. They're working extremely hard, and I would imagine there's 128 teams out there that all feel the same way right now. I would imagine. So, but it's been good.
Gene talked a lot about physicality. I'm curious, is that primarily the defense side of the ball, or is that something you're trying to incorporate into the entire line?
No, it's something we're doing, with both sides of the ball. We made it, it was one of the things that was a point of emphasis for us going into the season that we wanted to establish, and just a physical mentality with our football team. I mean, it was just part of it, playing smart, playing fast, playing physical, and making sure we have that aspect.
Is there a balance there in wanting the guys to be physical enough and trying to avoid injuries?
That's the fine line that everybody dances around, and it's the difficult thing. It's something you can't worry about, and you hope that Lady Luck is on your side in a lot of those situations, because I think a lot of times luck has a lot to do with it.
Dewan said you should change it to physical, smart, and fast because of the physicality being emphasized so much. Have they responded really well to it?
Oh yeah, they always, they always will reach what you're emphasizing. They'll always do it. So it's just whatever you want to emphasize, whatever we emphasize, that's what they're going to respond to. And I think the guys have done a great job with it.
A lot of guys, upperclassmen on the defensive side of the ball, were obviously disappointed with how last year went. Can you talk about just their hunger and their desire to learn the new system and learn Coach Chiswick, and how impressed you've been by that?
Yeah, and you probably just talked to the upperclassmen, but I would say that everybody on that side of the ball was disappointed with with the results of last year. And so it started back when the announcement was made that we were making a change, and we brought in Coach Chiswick and JP and Trey and Charlton, all those guys. I mean, there was just a sense of change and a sense of excitement on all those guys' parts. And it's been that way from that point on. I mean, those guys are hungry. Nobody was more disappointed than they were. They were the ones putting in the work, and so I promise you, they're definitely hungry to get that rectified.
All of the defensive players that I spoke to said they don't even need to play a game. You open with South Carolina, obviously. They don't even need to play a game to know that they're an improved unit. They've just seen the gains or the improvements themselves on the practice field. Do you kind of...
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's a whole different mentality, a whole different attitude out there right now, and so that has to pay off. So I agree with you.
Larry, how have you seen Marquise evolve during your time working with him, not just as a player, but maybe in terms of his personality as a leader, maturing, all that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think just watching Marquise mature as a quarterback, and that's in every aspect of what's going on. I mean, doesn't mean he still doesn't make mistakes or anything, but he understands now when a mistake is made, whether it's him or anybody, he totally gets it. He understands it. I mean, the cliche that the game has slowed down. I mean, what it really means is a guy becomes comfortable, and so his decision-making process. The game hasn't slowed down, but his decision-making process is so much faster. I mean, he's got this tight little loop that he's making decisions based on, and it's tighter now than it's ever been because he understands it. He's comfortable with it in everything that he does. Doesn't mean that he doesn't make mistakes. He makes mistakes like everybody else, but how he deals with them has changed, and that's come with maturity. The way he leads this football team, everything. He's been extremely positive in everything that we've done every single day, and the challenge to be consistent, he's taken that challenge and he's really working hard on it. So I think he's done a good job with it.
When you first got here, were you confident that he would be your quarterback of the future? first got here?
I don't know if I've ever felt that way with any quarterback, actually. I mean, but I can tell you this, I knew right away he had the tools to be successful in this offense, no doubt about it. You know, he definitely, from early on, you were able to see that he was going to fit this offense, no doubt.
How much have you talked with him about maybe avoiding some hits? Because he runs so much, and then, you know, he sees plays he can make, and he goes after it, about maybe protecting himself a little bit more.
Yeah, we've talked about it, you know, but it's not something that I'm going to mandate from him, because that's who Marquise is. I mean, you know, that's who he is. That's his personality. That's who he is. That's what gets him going. That's what makes him what he is. And so I'm not going to take it away from him. I just want him to be smart, and I think he will be. Again, I think a lot of that comes with maturity. I mean, there's a time when you need to go get that first down, and you got to get it. I got confidence he's going to go get it. And then there's a time where you don't have to get that extra yard. You know, you don't have to run through that guy. And you know, we'll see how it works out. I think he'll be smart. I really do.
Coach, in a similar scope to Marquise, Landon's another fifth-year senior on this team. Sort of a similar question, but what have you seen in his growth as a leader and someone that the younger offensive line guys can look up to?
Yeah, it's just natural, first of all, that he's gotten the most reps. I mean, he and Quinshaw Davis have the most reps on this football team, live reps in games. And, I mean, it's just that, you know, all those other guys look up to him. They all look up to him, especially in that offensive line. I mean, he is the guy. So he is the leader. It's just, it's easy for him. It's come natural to him to be that leader of that group. I mean, he's the old man. And, you know, and when they walk in that door, they respect him. Not only because of who he is and the amount of reps, but the job he's doing on the practice field. You watch him out there in practice, I mean, you know, his numbers are as high as anybody out there at that position.
Do you think playing with a lot of the guys that are now in the NFL, like James Hurst and Jonathan Cooper, sort of seeing how they handle similar situations, you think that's helped them?
I think every bit of experience that he has in every aspect of the game has helped him and has made him who he is.
Where's the kicking game stand right now? And do you have anybody here that you would be confident in making a 45-yard field goal on the last play of the game right now?
I don't see anybody in here that
No, but I mean, as far as on your roster.
Oh, you're talking about on the team?
Yeah.
On the team, okay, all right. I thought that was a trick question you were asking.
No, I
me in
mean,
here.
your kicking game has been, you know, not where you wanted to be the last couple of years. I mean, do you have anybody in the
Yeah,
program right now?
you're talking, when you say kicking game, all right, when you say kicking game to me, you're talking about punt return, kickoff return, X-point field goals and field goal blocks. So that's when you say that.
Kicking.
When you're talking about place kicking, now, you know, we have not named a guy at place. Those guys are still competing. I tell you what, the competition has been going really well. I mean, those guys are doing a great job. They're doing what we ask them. And eventually we're going to make a decision on who that is. And we have not made that decision, but I'm comfortable that when we get to, September 3rd, that we'll have somebody in place and we'll feel very good about who they are.
Do you have a timetable for something like that, or just let it go?
September 3rd, yeah.
Kick off then? All right.
Yeah.
For you as a head coach, how many wins will it take this year for you personally to be satisfied with this team?
How many can you play?
14? 15?
Whatever it is. I mean, the most you can play, that'll be satisfying.
Is going undefeated a realistic expectation?
I don't know, y'all are the ones that set the expectations, I don't.
Fair enough.
Elijah said that it's night and day for him where he is as a player now, especially the knowledge of the game cerebrally. What have you seen from him in camp so far that makes you believe that he's definitely what he says he is?
He's you know, I tell you what, Elijah is he is a pretty special kid. And I'm talking about on the field, off the field, and every aspect of his life, okay? I mean, my concern with Elijah is how hard he practices every day, every single day. I mean, it is something that I have to bring up with Coach Porter every single day on how he's going to handle Elijah, you know, because he goes so hard every single day. And I got to make sure that however he plays on September 3rd, he's still playing that, you know, in that first weekend in December. He's got to still be playing the same way. So we've got to do a great job of managing him. he is a coach's dream on the way he practices. No doubt about it.
Coach, 2 years ago, your return game was, off the charts, really, with what Ryan was able to do, and the entire,
Punt return?
yes, punt return. Do you feel confident you can kind of get back to that level? I mean, I know a lot of last year.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I take it on myself. It's my fault that we weren't as productive as we were last year. I obviously didn't do something right. And so I've got to make sure that happens this year. I got to make sure that it's more about the other 10 guys and that those 10 guys are hungry and they understand that they are the reason that the guy on the back end has the success. We got the guy back there to do it. Now the other 10 guys got to do their job. And, but I'll take full responsibility for that. That's my fault. I coached that unit and we didn't get it done last year. We were the weak link of the 4 phases of our special teams.
Ryan said he probably let the pressure began to build on him a little bit. He was frustrated. Kind of said, maybe by talking less and whatever, maybe that'll ease some of the pressure that comes on. Did you notice him going through the pressure? Obviously you see frustration, but did you sense the pressure was a problem?
Sure, because he was creating a lot of pressure on himself. He thinks he had to, okay, I returned 5 as a freshman. I'm got to return 7 as a sophomore. Then I got to return 9 as a junior, and then I'm going to, no. He was trying to make something special happen every single return, and that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You have to take the ones they give you, and then there's going to be some times where you want it so bad, but the punt is not going to enable that. It's not going to enable you to make it, and you just have to accept it, and you got to move on. And we struggled with that last year.
Last year, the run game wasn't probably where you wanted it to be. What have you done in camp this year, in the offseason, to kind of improve the run game?
Yeah, well, that started in spring ball. That started actually back in the offseason when we evaluated what our problems were and all those things. And we knew we had to establish ourselves, running the football. And so that was a point of emphasis, again, going into the part with being physical. That's been a point of emphasis this fall camp, is that we're going to run the football. And we're going to be effective running the football. It doesn't mean we're going to be stupid, but we're going to be effective. And, if the numbers are right and we have the ability to do it, we're going to go do it. And we're going to put that onus on the offensive line and those running backs, and the perimeter blocking to get it done.
The running back defensive got a ton of carries last year. Do you have to make a concerted effort to kind of put the ball in their hands a little more to build that momentum? I
think, if they're productive, then you give them the ball more and more, and that's what everything's been based on. In this offense from the day we got here, it's about productivity. And if you produce, then you get the ball. It's as simple as that. And wherever that production's coming from, that's where the ball's going. Whether it be a wide out, a tight end, or a running back, whoever. If you want the ball, then produce. Simple.
A couple of your defensive guys are actually pretty forthcoming and said they've never thought of themselves as physical players before. They were like rush ends, or their job was pass, and now they think run to stop. Is that a mentality change that you guys have instilled in them? Or?
Yeah, that's definitely a mentality change for Gene and his staff, and it's the way he teaches things. So it's not, I'm a rush in, and this is what I do. I go get the quarterback. It all starts with the basics and the fundamentals, and that's what they did all spring. It was just the fundamentals to play in this style of defense and what they want. And so it's not about, I'm a pass rusher. I'm a defensive player, and this is what we have to do to be successful in this defense. And then whatever my specialty is on top of that, that's icing on the cake.
Is there, I know you're not directly involved with the defense like Gene is, but is there a guy that you see that can kind of embody what you guys want from the defense?
There's 2 guys right now that I would say that, and that's Jeff Schottmer and Shaquille Rashad. Those guys right now, they are giving everything they got. Is in what he expects from them in practice and meetings and their mentality and everything that they're doing.
Last, you talked to Pinehurst about chemistry being an issue, guys having meetings and trying to air everything out.
Yeah, back in January 6th.
Yeah, and Marquise kind of talked even about, it's natural to have a little bit of a divide with a team where offense and defense are.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like you guys have fixed these problems? Is it something that you're not going to know for sure until you're actually playing a real game?
You won't know until you got adversity hitting you in the face. We won't really know a whole lot. think we know things about this football team, but until we're faced with adversity, we won't really know. I mean, that's when you find out who you really are and what is the chemistry of the team and how close are they, and do they love each other? Are they willing to do it for the guy next to them on their left and their right and the guy behind them? Is that what, I mean, that's when we'll really find out.
With all the talk about the deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball, it's obviously been a huge story. Can you talk about the maturity level of your offensive guys and knowing that, you know what, we can still improve too. Our ceiling can get a little bit higher.
Oh, yeah, I promise you, I have not walked into an offensive meeting with the offense and said, hey, guys, we did a great job last year. I mean, by any means. I mean, you've heard me say it before, I thought we were average. A lot of things were written, but I thought we were average. The expectations are a lot higher, and so those guys know it. There wasn't anybody walking around with their chest out thinking that they had arrived. I mean, they understood, they know we have to do much better, and because we all know in the flow of a season, how many times in the flow of a season are all three phases, hitting on all cylinders. I mean, there are going to be times where the defense and the special teams are going to have to pick up the offense and the special teams are going to have to pick up the defense, and the offense and the defense are going to have to pick up the special teams. And then there's going to be those rare moments, in games where everybody's hitting on all cylinders that every coach is trying to attain, but in reality, it doesn't happen very often. And so you got to have a team that is resilient, and that can pull each other up, and inspire each other.
Coach, on the return game, back for a second, if the punt isn't there and if Switzer isn't fumbling the ball, what is he doing wrong?
If the punt isn't there,
if the punt isn't there, to make that natural breakaway play, what is he doing wrong if he's not, turning the ball over?
Oh, he wasn't. It wasn't that he was doing anything wrong. It was that he was trying to take those punts that weren't there, that maybe they're hanging too long, and they just need to be a fair catch. And he's thinking, I'm going to try to make something special happen, and he catches the ball and he ends up with a 6-yard loss, because he's trying to make something else happen. He's circling around. So it wasn't that he was doing anything wrong. It was that he was always trying to make something happen out of nothing, and sometimes you just have to accept that nothing is there. Stick your hand up in the air, fair catch it, and let's go to the next play. And then when they do give you that one that's there, make it special.
And the scrimmage past week with the defense as physical as you guys want to lose?
I thought there was some great hitting in this, on both sides of the ball, actually. I mean, we had some great hitting in the scrimmage. And, it was a very controlled, situational scrimmage, but the being physical was not a factor in that scrimmage at all.
To follow up on the punt thing, how much of that goes to the blocking ahead? I mean, you guys kind of had some perfectly executed things go 2 years ago with him. Is it kind of it's not just what he's doing, it's not just the punt, it's also how everybody blocked? Or?
Oh, yeah, I mean, but when there's reason there's 11 guys out on the field, it's going to take, now I can't tell you that all 11 hit every time that when you score a touchdown, but you're going to have the majority of them doing it, and so I would say that, again, the emphasis for me has been on, Ryan's back there catching the football. Those other guys that are return guys, they're back there catching the football on a daily basis, making sure they're making good decisions and all those things. And the emphasis put on the other 10. That's where I spend all my time. I mean, that's where you get it done. And last year we didn't get it done.
Anybody else? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.